These protests we've been watching, this is another live shot in lower Manhattan, a little shaky right now, but they've been growing in number this October 7th. And the pro-Palestinian flags, we saw there's the video from earlier, as we mark 1 year since the war in Gaza began, but 1 year since the attack of Hamas on Israel and the taking of those hostages by Hamas. In fact, we've been speaking throughout the program with a number of the family members of the hostages who are still, of course, praying for the safe return of their loved ones. And we're joined here at our New York studio now by Leat Corinne Unger, whose cousin, Omer Shemtov, is still being held, right, in Gaza. So young, early 20s, your cousin, right?
21.
It was at the music festival.
That's right.
Now, what's interesting about this, I suppose, is that you have a little bit of information on him because was it two of the people he was with were among those released?
Two of his friends that were captured with him were released in the November ceasefire negotiation.
What did they tell you about your cousin, if anything?
They shared that he is struggling to breathe because he's asthmatic and doesn't have his inhaler. They shared that he is in a tremendous amount of pain because he has celiac disease, and the minimal food he's being given is actually pita bread, which is gluten. But they also shared that he's hopeful, and he's the source of strength in captivity, or was the source of strength for them in captivity.
For them?
For them, yes.
Was it in the tunnels in Gaza that they were?
So they were actually kept, initially they were brought into tunnels, and then they were moved into a home. They were moved several times into various homes.
So there was an actual private homes where people would normally live in Gaza,
yes.
And they were being held in those homes. What were the conditions like, did they say? Or?
Pitch black, not allowed to make any noise. It's terrifying, of course. They're threatened. They have to be silent the entire time. They're starving, thirsty. Not really conditions that one of us would want probably survive in for an amount of time.
And particularly, and I've heard this with other families as well, the health concerns. You see someone in their early 20s, but this is someone with health issues. So
Chronic health
issues. Your whole family must be thinking about that all the time. I mean, that was an issue, obviously, before this.
And now that they're most likely all in the tunnels, yes. It's something that we have heard is very challenging to breathe. It's very humid and moist down there. There's no flow of oxygen. We're terrified. We have begged the Red Cross to intervene, to no avail.
What are we had another family member on before from Israel, I guess two, on last hour as well. And the questions are somewhat similar. You say, well, are you hopeful? What are you thinking? And everybody says they are. And I find that remarkable. But as the one gentleman was telling us, he says, well, I don't have any other choice. I have to be hopeful.
I always say, we don't have the privilege.
It is a privilege, hope, right?
Hope is a privilege, and we don't have the privilege not to have hope.
Yeah.
And also hearing that story from Itai where Omer is the source of strength within such difficult conditions, and that he's able to ration his food and recite the blessings of Kiddush within captivity, forces us to understand that if he can remain hopeful through that time, we have no other choice but to remain hopeful and cling to our faith.
And so you have that individual hope, again, because you have no choice but to have it. What about the governments and the negotiations you must follow? The news all the time say, well, now they're talking about a ceasefire, now they're talking about this, and then it doesn't seem to ever go anywhere. What's that like for you?
I have to say that it's really complicated and complex. It's a roller coaster of emotions. So you go into meetings, we're summoned to meetings all the time. You go in with this huge expectation, you leave the meeting with an even bigger expectation, very hopeful, and then you come out and you're in bed for a week grieving the failure of
meetings with
various UN delegates and other relevant stakeholders who are involved in the negotiations.
Do you think everybody's doing everything that they can?
Absolutely not. I think the reason we haven't achieved the deal is because no one is prioritizing the sanctity of human life. I believe that the international community is not coming together to hold Hamas accountable by pressuring the relevant stakeholders through Iran, through Qatar, through Turkey. And I think that everybody is prioritizing political agenda over the sanctity of human life and allowing the world to embolden Hamas by failing to condemn them and to allow these types of protests going on in the streets.
So are you talking about European governments, U.S. government?
All the relevant, the entire international community, for me, has failed.
Has failed. What about Netanyahu?
Listen, he's done a few great things recently, against Hezbollah. But at the end of the day, I believe that he hasn't prioritized his commitment to the hostages and the hostage families, unfortunately. And I am still hopeful that he will do the right thing.
So his priority, you think, is his priorities are misplaced?
I do think so, unfortunately, right now.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.